The West, don't you guys pity us? People of the West, governments of the West, don't you guys pity the people of Africa? I've asked this question and made statements like this in my previous videos, asking the people of the West that they may be taking advantage of our leaders because they are greedy, they are ignorant, they are corrupt, they are evil, but at the expense of innocent African people who are struggling to make ends meet, who are struggling to survive. So I ask again, the West, don't you guys pity us? Why do you guys come across as wanting to help us, but taking more from us? You extend your right arm, then take with your left hand. Why do you guys do this all the time? So, what's happening now? It's all over the news, not only in Ghana, Africa, but on the world news too, that Ghana has rejected US aid or US help, and everybody's talking, right? So US normally gives aid to countries who are struggling, right, in terms of development and all that. And most of this aid come in the form that they take from we, the African people, because most of this aid comes to Africa or countries in Africa. So our president, His Excellency John Mahama, has rejected $120 or $102 million of aid from America and from Donald Trump, and people are talking, right? It's more of like a shock to the West, especially to the countries in the West, especially, that how come Ghana will go like, yo, we don't want your help anymore, we don't want your aid. There's more to it why our president or Ghana rejected that aid, and on this episode we are going to dive right into it and find out what's going on. I go by the name Nyama, and this is New Orleans News. And if today's your first time coming across a video from this channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, like, share, and comment. So, Mr. Saros of Tuntum Network did a video about this conversation. We are here to react to it.
It's $20 million to the government of Ghana in a year. That should make the leadership of this country grant the US access to that kind of sensitive personal data of its citizens. What is the meaning of this? Is that kind of information for sale? Is it for sale in the first place? Another country wants to pay you some money to know every aspect of your health condition. Ladies and gentlemen, does that make any sense? Isn't that suspicious? Ladies and gentlemen, what is $100 million to the government of Ghana? What is it?
So, the long and short of this topic or conversation is that America wants to give Ghana $120 million to invest into our health sector, right? But then they'll be wanting our data, right? Our health and our health data, the data of Ghanaians, right? And this data is not something to give out, right? It's not wise to give out data of your people, of their health, like diseases and all that. It's not something to be given out, right? So let's continue.
Some 2 years ago, Ghana was receiving over $220 million every year from the US aid program, every single year. That money was pretty much consistent coming from the US government, and it was somewhat open to Ghana's discretion on how to use it in our health department. But today, the US government under President Trump has cut down that money to $100 million over a period of time, not yearly anymore. But this time, Trump is making that offer with a tricky string attached to it. And the president of Ghana responds to this offer by saying, you know what, Mr. President Trump, Thank you for the offer, but we will pass on this one. We are good. Pretty much that is what the president of Ghana is saying. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, this story is interesting. If you remember, I have spoken on this story some few weeks back, and I listed all the African countries that were also offered similar health packages. Even the AES was offered this deal, which they haven't neither signed nor rejected yet. And I told you, each African country's offer was different. For some African countries, for instance, accepting that offer meant they would allow American NGOs to come into their country to assist and supervise the disbursement. With other African countries, the acceptance of that offer will mean any person who belongs to the LGBTQ community, who uses the hospitals or facilities where the program will be rolled out, could not be discriminated. Stuffs like these varied for countries in Africa, ladies and gentlemen. But Zimbabwe was, however, the first.
I said this, the topic of LGBTQ in Ghana, the effects of this whole LGBTQ in Ghana, that it will get to a point, if we should accept this LGBTQ in Ghana, money will be allocated to cater in terms of their health, their education, their to budget will be allocated to them, basically, right? Budget that needs to be to be used to develop other things will be allocated to these people. And that are some of the reasons, or that is one reason why I don't want, or I stand against the LGBTQ in Ghana.
First African country to reject the offer outright. Kenya initially signed up to it, and civilians and civil rights groups took it to court and got it suspended. Ladies and gentlemen, in the case of Ghana, however, the US government, through USAID, is supposed to give Ghana government this $100 million over the course of 5 years. It's actually $109 million in 5 years. And in that time, the US government wants to have real-time data on Ghanaians' health. Can you believe this? The requirement demands data sharing on Ghanaians' health conditions.
Wait, do they want to use us as lab rats or what? Are we guinea pigs for the experiments or what? What do you need our health data for? What are you going to use it for? Like, bro, like, yo, you want to help us? Why can't you help us willingly? Why can't you just help us willingly? You offer to help us. What do you need our health data for? What are you going to use it for? Are we your lab rat or your lab rat for your experiments or your guinea pigs for your experiments? Africans are awakening now. Africans are opening their eyes now. We are now learning. We are researching. We are getting involved with what's going on in our government, in our society, in our community, with our relations with other countries, with foreign countries in the West, in the East, wherever. So when you look at a place like Kenya, where the government signed up for the aid or for the help, and then the civilians and civil people, civil groups fought against it or stood against it, and then the government had to cancel the deal. It should let you know that gradually, slow but sure, Africans we are awakening. We are saying what? We are opening our eyes now. We are seeing the positive from the negative. We are seeing the good from the bad, and we are speaking against the bad and encouraging the good, promoting the good. Especially when it comes to our dealings with these foreign people, the West.
In real time, as in every patient this money is used to help. Every hospital that the US government approves the money should go to, the US government wants the data of the patients in real time as treatments are being going or given out to the patients. The United States government, by way of this money, wants to know which diseases are most prevalent in Ghana, which age brackets does the disease affect the most, which kinds of medications are commonly used in health treatments in Ghana, and even how many children are being born in every single hospital, major hospital across the country, ladies and gentlemen. Essentially, they want to know everything related to the health conditions of Ghanaians with this 100 million aid. Another country wants to pay you some money to know every aspect of your health condition. Ladies and gentlemen, does that make any sense? Isn't that suspicious? ladies and gentlemen, what is $100 million to the government of Ghana? What is it? In fact, what is $20 million to the government of Ghana in a year that should make the leadership of this country grant the US access to that kind of sensitive personal data of its citizens? What is the meaning of this? Is that kind of information for sale? Is it for sale in the first place? The US is essentially asking for both the medical and biological data of all Ghanaians. What do you want that information for? US? Well, America?
One may say that maybe they are following up what the money was used for, right? In the sense that we are offering to help you guys to look at your health sector, right? But we want to really know that you guys are using the money for what it's proposed to be used for. One may argue that that's the reason why America is asking for that data, the health data from the people of Ghana, right? But if if you are helping someone willingly, right, you've directed the person that the person should use this money for the health sector, right? I think it should just end there. It should just end there. No need for you. Example, let me give you an example. Okay, someone has come to you that he needs help from you. He has no work, he has no job, like he hasn't eaten for like past few weeks now. He hasn't drank water for some weeks now or for some days now. He has no good clothes to wear, right? And then he comes to you for help, or even you propose or you offer to help that person, right? And you give the person maybe $100, and you tell the person, oh, this money I don't want you to use it to buy clothes or footwear or build a shelter. I want you to use this money to buy food and eat, so you can regain strength. And after regaining the strength, you can work for yourself and get money to build your own shelter or to buy clothes and wear. And then you double down and go like, okay, now the food, what you eat in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, I want to know. You first told the person should use the money primarily for food only. It's understandable, right? You offer to help the person, and you are letting the person know that don't use the money to build a shelter or buy clothes or do anything else apart from what buying food to eat. That is even a red flag in some way, but we will consider that, right? It also makes sense in some way. But then you double down and go like, what you eat in the morning, come tell me, like write it down and come present it to me. Whether you took in oatmeal, whether you took in cocoa, whether you took in banku and okra soup, whether you took in pizza. In the afternoon, what you use the money for, write it down and come show it to me. In the evening too, same. Until the money is finished. That's what America is trying to do here. You've offered to help us willingly, right? Whether we came to you and then you offer to help us, or we are at one corner, we are sitting out somewhere, and you just come and you go like, I want to help you guys, but I want to help you guys in getting food to eat. It's understandable, but then you doubling down and telling us that we should bring you data of our feeding, of what we use the money to buy, like the food we use the money to buy. That's where the problem is.
America be willing to share its health data with any country for any amount of money, ladies and gentlemen? The answer is no. But this is what America has unfortunately become. America has willingly shared its health data with their pharmaceutical corporations for many decades. They trade with the healthcare data of their people. They treat the healthcare of their people as a business enterprise, and now they want to extend it to the rest of the world. They have all these new.
So you see the reason why this is theories that people, or even it's facts, right? They want to extend that kind of system to our country, but so that they can. You see, earlier in the video I said they give with one hand and take with another, maybe with the other hand, right? So they are offering to help us, but in return we give them our data, and then they go do medicines and all that to extort money, to rob the people, to rob Ghanaians, right? To rob us of our hard-earned money. in the sense that it will make drugs that may not what necessarily cure our disease or our ailments, but it will contain the ailments, right? So that we'll be buying more drugs, more pharmaceuticals from them, and they'll be making money at the long run.
Vaccines waiting to be tried. They need guinea pigs for their testing, and Africa is on their list, ladies and gentlemen. Why would any African country agree to this madness, unless, of course, the leadership of that country cares less about their people? Why would anyone do this, ladies and gentlemen? And talking about caring less about citizens of Africa, it will shock you to know that there are at least 13 African countries that have already jumped onto the program. You heard me right. They have already jumped onto the program. Rwanda is on it. So it is Rwanda, Liberia, Nigeria. And for Nigeria, I don't really know what's going on in Nigeria right now. The type of leadership in charge. Everything seems to be either falling apart or for sale in Nigeria right now. It's confusing. So Nigeria is also on it. Uganda, Cameroon, Mozambique, Ethiopia.
But I'm surprised Rwanda is on this deal. I'm surprised. But just as Mr. Saro said, the deal has different conditions for individual countries, right? The conditions that America is giving to Ghana for this deal is different from what they gave to Burkina Faso, Niger, and Rwanda, right? It's different conditions on the deal for different countries or different African countries. So maybe Rwanda went through the deal and saw that their conditions, it makes sense to them, right? Their leaders went through the deal and were like, it makes sense to us, so why not? But to we Ghanaians, or the deal they brought to us, the conditions doesn't make sense. And not only do they want our sensitive information, in the next video, I'll break it down properly, right? I'll bring a video where I'm breaking down properly what the deal entails. I mean, the conditions in the deal.
Botswana, Madagascar, Sierra Leone, the Ivory Coast, Lesotho, and Eswatini. These African countries are already on the U.S. Foreign Nations Health Program in exchange for money. Ladies and gentlemen, what will a man be willing to give in exchange for money? I'll tell you this. One particular challenge explains the reason for many African countries accepting these types of things. The reasons most Africans are allowing this to happen, it is because of one particular reason. We have many African countries whose leadership do not know how to generate revenue domestically or on their own. This is the problem. The reason African countries are struggling and falling.
Most African leaders are myopic thinkers. They may come across as smart, as intelligent on how they speak. Fluent in the English language. They may know how to communicate with people, right? They may know how to gather momentum from the people. They may know how to be likable by the people, right? But when it comes to running a country, developing a country, bringing revenue, building facilities, building infrastructure, building roads, connecting and bettering lives in the country, they have no idea on how to go about it. They absolutely theoretically, they may seem or come across as they know what they are doing, but practically, they don't know their left and right. Right? They may just read from the book. Right? When they are reading their manifestos, it's something that someone has just written and they are just reading to you guys. But practically, they don't know how to go about whatever they said in their manifestos, in their campaign policies, in their campaign messages. Theoretically, they may come across as smart, as intelligent, as though they know how to take a country from one stage to the next level. But practically, they are children, they don't know and how to go about it. They are myopic thinkers. And those who are not myopic thinkers and they actually know how to run a country, half of those people or majority of those people are greedy people and evil people, corrupt people, right? So half or majority of our leaders are myopic thinkers, number one, and the rest who are not myopic thinkers, who actually know what to do, the right thing to do. Majority of that small amount of those leaders left are also greedy people who will steal, who will rob, and who will sell their people out just to make money, just to get money from wherever they will get it from. Understood? And the small amount left too that may not be evil, may not be corrupt, and may actually know how to run a country. They are also scared. They don't have the balls, the courage to do what is right. Right? Maybe because they are afraid, they don't want to lose popularity, right? From their people, right? Like in the eyes of their people, they don't want to lose, they don't want to be like elected against, voted against, because maybe they are doing what is right, and maybe it's affecting maybe some group of people in the country, and they might be voted against, or they are afraid of maybe this Western people, these Western countries, right? See what's happening in the AES. You see the balls that these leaders have, talking or like rejecting or letting these Western people know that, yo, we are running our country our own way. You can't dictate to us how we should run our countries. We won't allow you guys to come into our countries, to come and do whatever you guys want. Go out of our countries. Right? So there's a big problem with African leadership in Africa. There's a big problem with African leadership in Africa that we need to look into and address and find solutions to them. And they are, number one, they are myopic thinkers. Number two, most of them are greedy, evil, corrupt people. And number three, most of them too are scared. They don't have the balls, they don't have courage to run a country and do what's right. These are the three things I think African leaders are facing, or these are the three major problems I think African leaders have.
Already, for some of these things, ladies and gentlemen, life-threatening deals, it's not because of the diseases that affect us. It is not because of the youth unemployment or overpopulation. That is not the case. It is not even because of people are dying in millions and we need immediate medical supplies. No, it all boils down to our inability to create wealth. For decades, we have voted people into places of leadership who don't know how to work the economy or the ministries or the departments to generate multiple streams of revenues for the state. This is our problem. The focus has merely been on taxes and duties and nothing else. Our budgets are small because our sources of revenue are small. Our sources of revenue are small because we don't own any industries as a state, and tourism facilities and mines as a state, or any type of state business that generates any sizable revenue to the state. And therefore, we always don't have enough to do what we should be doing. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, which therefore also means our expenditure is small and everything seems mediocre. This explains why $100 million would excite an African politician to sell the health data of a whole country to a foreigner. $100 million only. What a shame. What is $100 million to a Nigerian economy? This has been the biggest challenge to all African countries, ladies and gentlemen. We have the oil, but we don't know how to get it out of the ground. We don't know what to do with it. We own the gold, but we don't know what to do with it. We own the lands and all the other essential minerals in them, but we do not have any industries around them. Our timber is shipped out overseas all the time. The biggest furniture companies in Africa are mostly foreign owned. This is the problem. This is the disconnect that's making us appear as beggars. Under what circumstance would you even give all that data of your household to a stranger, even your household to a stranger, let alone the data of an entire country? I wonder if the citizens of these 13 African countries whose governments have already signed up to this deal are aware of what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. There is a grand plan, for your information, by the powers that be to put our children on new vaccines that has been approved in the US. Every time I talk about this topic or GMOs, the YouTube algorithm shelves my videos from getting any type of viral viewership, ladies and gentlemen. And that sort of things, tells me that this topic they would prefer nobody talks about. But hey, we do this for God and for country. And I hope every point in time when you are sick, you know exactly what's going into your body or the body of everyone you love at all times. That's all I'll say. My name is Cyrus, and thanks for watching till the very end. Please share and subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you in the next one. This is Tumtum Network. It is bye-bye for now.
So this was going on in Ghana with America offering to help us, and our president's going like, or our leadership going like, yo, we don't need your help. Because I heard, or from my research, what I've gathered, diseases like HIV/AIDS, I heard it was introduced to Africans by these white scientists and white people, in the sense that they brought this disease to Africa to check our population, to destroy our population, to prevent us from growing in terms of population, right? Not only that, lots and lots of disease and ailments. I've heard that these Western people, most of them, like the Western countries, bring to Africa to destroy us. And this is the data, like we giving out our data like this is how they look at our data and use to develop this disease and all that, and how to distribute and like spread the diseases, and through their vaccines, through their medicines that they bring to Africa. This is the end of today's episode, and when you find value in it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, like, share, and comment, and also do same for Tumtum Network. I'm Nyama, and this is New News. Catch you on the next episode. I'm out.